Have you been feeling stuck at the current level of your career? Or maybe you're feeling that somehow, for some reason, no matter how hard you're working, that your career or your progress or your personal growth is just not going in the direction at the speed that you want. Well, in today's video, what I'm going to share with you is how to stay focused on achieving the career path that you want. And by the way, this video is for you only if you're ambitious. If you're an ambitious professional who desires self-actualization, then this is the video for you. If you want to achieve your most meaningful goals for your career, then this is for you. Right? And the key principle behind how to achieve our most meaningful career goals is that we produce what we are focused on, because where your attention is, where your attention goes, your intention will follow. So if you focus on what you lack, for example, then you will perpetuate that lack. And sometimes it's really natural for us to say that we don't have this skill set, or I'm not good at this, or I have been already at this company for 5 years. I've only been promoted once where I should have been promoted twice. And so all of that focus is focused on what we don't have, what we lack, and therefore we will perpetuate it. But if you focus on the abundance that you do have, you perpetuate that abundance, because both lack and abundance are both there. And in your life, in your career path as well, they are both there all the time, but you are going to get the one that you focus on. Now, this doesn't mean that just because you focus on the abundance that you have, that all of a sudden you'll have everything you desire. Of course, there are going to be steps you need to take. But in order for those strategies and those steps to work, it must come from that mindset, the foundation, the foundational piece, which is the mindset. And of course, just because I work privately with you as your coach and as your mentor, it doesn't mean that you are going to be able to implement everything that I share with you until you become the person that can make those strategies work. And the first part of becoming that person is to have the right mindset. And this is where your focus is, where you put your attention, right? Because have you noticed that it's not enough just to think about it? Just to desire something is not enough. Just because we desire one thing doesn't mean we achieve that exact thing. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden, if I put all my focus on what I desire, that all of a sudden I can achieve what I desire. It's not enough, right? And for example, even if I think about my goal of becoming successful in my career, I don't necessarily achieve it. If I consistently think about my desire of becoming successful, I don't achieve that necessarily either, right? But here's the thing, the key about focus, and you notice I use the word focus and not thinking, right? The key is focus. Focus is not just about thinking. Thinking is your cognitive domain. It's the cognitive part of your capabilities, right? But there are other domains as well. Cognitive is just one part. There are other domains as well. There's also the affective domain and the psychomotive domain. Psychomotive, right? Affective involves the manner in which we deal with things emotionally. It involves everything to do with our attitudes, and our attitudes will directly affect our perspectives, the way that we see things around us, right? The other domain that I mentioned is psychomotor. Psychomotor is when you are developing the skills to be able to take consistent action. And therefore, this involves your attention and your ambition as well. You must have the focus, but you must also do something about that focus, right? So what I want to share with you in this video now are 3 key components for success, right? When you have the mindset piece in place, when you have the right attitude, when you have the ambition, and you also know what is the attention, you have the right intention, and your attention and your intention will follow, then these are the 3 components of success. Number 1 component is expectancy. Expectancy, what do you expect? Because oftentimes, have you noticed this? Maybe you've noticed it, that we desire one thing, right? Success in our career. We desire, for example, to be elevated into leadership. But at the exact same time, we expect the opposite. And our expectations sound kind of like this. I don't think I'm going to get that position. Oh, so-and-so has more experience than me, right? I'm not good enough. I don't think I have the enough visibility in here. So our expectation is that we're not going to achieve what we desire, and yet we still desire it. So it's really important with this first piece. Your expectation and your desire must be pulling in the same direction, right? You must pull expectancy and expect that you can do it. Otherwise, it's just a dream. If we just desire it, but we don't expect it to happen anyway for whatever reason, then it is just a dream. It becomes just something we thought of. And that's where it's thinking only, cognitive domain only. But on the other hand, we must have properly educated expectations. Because if we don't have properly educated expectations, then it just becomes wishful thinking, right? So let me summarize once again. It's just a dream. If you are desiring it, but you expect the opposite, then it's just a dream. But if you desire it, and all it is, and you have your expectations, but your educations are not properly educated, then it's just wishful thinking. Because expectations can either fully empower you to achieve your goals, or they can create stressful situations where you're frustrated or you're confused of why isn't this working? What am I doing wrong? Or it can also lead you feeling disempowered. So educate your expectations and have the right level of expectancy. And oftentimes we don't know what that expectation is because we don't know what it's like to achieve that success. And we also aren't aware of what are the challenges that might come along the way and how do I overcome it when it comes. So that's why it's very difficult when you yourself need to educate your own expectations. You don't know how far you are to achieving your most meaningful goals, and you don't know exactly the steps to take there. So it is difficult to work backwards and educate our own expectations. That's why it's important to work with a coach. Now, if you are ambitious and you're watching this video because you genuinely want to achieve your most meaningful career desires, and you understand the importance of having a perspective outside of yourself, then I invite you to book a call with me. Below this video, in the description of the video, the first link is a link to book a call with me. And this is where you'll either talk to myself or a member of my team. And we're going to have an initial conversation with you to explore whether or not it's the right fit and if I can truly help you with what you're looking for. Right? This is for you if you are a leader, if you are an established professional in your industry and you want to take it to the next level. You want to become an executive or a director, then this is for you. However, this call is not for you if you're at the beginning stage of your career, or if you're still a student or a recent graduate, then this is not for you. Right? If you are in the beginning stage of your career or a student, then I encourage you to continue to watch my YouTube videos and to listen to my podcast as well. Right? But if you are a leader, an established career professional, you're ready to take it to the next level and you understand the importance of expectations, of having the external feedback, right? Of being challenged, having your perspectives challenged, then I invite you to book a call and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Right, so that is the first element, right? The first element was expectancy, the three key elements, three key components. Number one was expectancy. Number two is effort, right? Remember the difference between a dream and wishful thinking. So once you have the first component, then you move on to the second component, which is effort. Effort means concentrated activity, right? This requires your conscious attention. What are you going to do about what you've learned? How are you going to implement this clarity? What steps are you going to take? What's the game plan? And this requires consistent effort, a commitment to consistency, because the journey is going to be long. The journey is going to be hard. There will be challenges because you want to achieve something you've not achieved before, and you want to do something you've never done before. So by the nature of that journey, there are going to be challenges. So that's why we need to persist through the challenges. It's going to be conscious effort. It's going to require your committed attention. So that's why the second component is effort. When we are unable to achieve everything we desire until we take the actions towards it. But again, this goes backwards. You can't take the action towards it until you have the right expectancy, which leads us to our third component, which is environment. We are shaped by everything around us. Right? People, places, and so on. Your environment will always be more powerful than your willpower. If you are depending on your sheer willpower to be disciplined, right? Your sheer discipline to really understand the journey ahead of you and to have the commitment and accountability to yourself, then you are relying solely on your willpower. And wouldn't you agree that our willpower waxes and wanes? Sometimes we just don't feel like doing the work. Sometimes we get discouraged and we hold back, or we put our most meaningful goals on the back burner. Sometimes we receive distractions that pull us away, and therefore it takes a lot longer. And sometimes we just don't know what to do in our current situation. So that's why we must set up our environment in a way that is conducive to us meeting our expectations and our desires pulling in the same direction, giving us the accountability, and also somebody on the outside that can give us the real feedback on what to improve and where to improve. So this is where working with a coach and being a member of a community is really important. So now, as I shared with you, increasing your knowledge base is the first step within the foundation, upon the foundation of the right mindset and the right expectations. But we must do something about it because applied knowledge is where it's at. So I want to hear from you. Take action. What have you learned? Comment below and share with me. What is the key takeaway that you had from this video? And also, if you haven't done so, remember to subscribe to my channel, ring that bell so you can receive a notification every time I release a new video.